All right. Hey, everyone. It's Mr. Dimitrie here. Hope you're all doing well. And during this crazy times we're living through, staying healthy, staying safe, maintaining your distance so we can all get through this together. So this is my first video I'm making for you guys that I'm going to be posting each week. Basically, what I plan to do is over the weekend, I will post a video for you guys that I'll put on YouTube just like this one is. And what I'll do is I'll walk you through my Schoology page for the week so you can kind of get an idea of what you're expected to do, what I've posted, and just have a general idea of what I'm going to need you to do for global history. So this video is the same for all my hours, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th hour class global. So, there's a few different things with each hour depending on which class you're in. We'll go through that in a second here. So anyhow, I just wanted to take a moment. So today the idea is I'm going to kind of walk you guys through and introduce you to the site, kind of show you how to navigate around through it and where I have different things, and then ultimately show you what it is that you guys need to do this week for the week of April 20th through April 24th. That would be the Monday through Friday of this upcoming week. I also want to mention, because it's worth going over, if you guys haven't stopped and thought about this whole situation we're in, this quarantine, this living at, or social distancing, this is a historic period. I mean, we've never had anything like this in United States history, and probably in world history. You could argue there's not been a time where the world has sort of quarantined themselves in this way because of an epidemic or a pandemic, as this is. In history books are going to write about this for years and years this time, and you guys are going to remember this time. So I just want you to kind of recognize the importance, historically speaking, of what we're kind of going through as we start talking about this stuff. So, all right, so we'll start going through. If you see here, this is my Schoology page here when I log in. You guys got to make sure when you're logging into Schoology, you do use the cvs.schoology.com, not going directly to Schoology, or else you won't get to it. Now, your login will be the same. You use the login of the computers. It's your email, which is your student ID number at cvs.k12.mi.us, and your password that you use for school computer. So your Schoology page might look a little different than mine does here, only because this is the teacher side of things, but I can still show you a lot of the stuff. So you'll see all your classes will be here, and I'll go to, we're just going to use 3rd hour as an example here. So when you click on 3rd hour global for me, this is what your main page is going to look like here. And again, I have some different stuff down my left side toolbar here than you guys have because I'm on the the teacher side of things. But you guys will see all the same stuff here and a limited number of these options down the left here as well. So I want to show you a couple of quick things on here. What you'll see here is this calendar on the right-hand side here, upcoming. This is essentially any upcoming assignments I've provided for you that you need to return to me through Schoology, which we'll show you how to do that here in a moment. So you can see you only have one assignment for this week, and it is going to be a Cold War summary questions, very brief 15 questions about the Cold War. And the due date is, you'll see here, it's Sunday, April 26th by 11:59 p.m. So that's by Sunday night next week before we flip to the new week on Monday. So you can submit these anytime throughout the week. So a couple of things on this page here. Virtual office hours, when you click on that, what you'll see is for office hours, what the plan is, or let's just kind of go through this in general. Each of your classes is going to have a brief meeting every Monday morning. Okay, it's going to start with 3rd hour at 7:30, 4th hour at 7:45, 5th hour at 8 o'clock, and 6th hour at 8:15. And the idea is I'd like you to watch these YouTube videos, which I'll send out to you via text and email prior to the meeting. Kind of watch them, and then there'll be an opportunity for us to go online and see. I'll be able to answer any questions you have about upcoming assignments or talk about anything that I have on the page that you might not understand. And we'll be doing it through, you'll see here, it's the meeting's going to be through what's called conferences in Schoology. And I would like you to try and attend. They should take 10 minutes or less for each hour. You don't have to have your video on. In fact, I don't believe students actually can use video on it. You can have the microphone on if you want to ask any questions. There's also be a little chat bar down the side that you can ask questions in. But I will record them, so if you're unable to make it for some reason, and a good reason would be you're not feeling well, you have something else going on, sleeping in is not a good excuse. We are in school, so Monday through Friday you should be up, and especially Mondays for my meetings, I'd like you to be there and present. I will not be using them as attendance, but I will be just, kind of going through and seeing who is at them. But what I'll do is I'll record the videos, and then you can see here the conference video will be available for 1 week after it's posted. So after I submit it, and after we finish the conference on Mondays, you will be able to view that conference under your conferences tab on Schoology for about 1 week, for 7 days afterwards. So if you have any questions, make sure you contact me. Now, office hours here. what I plan to do is I will reply to all emails and text messages within 24 hours, usually much less than that, Monday through Friday. And then every Wednesday between noon and 1 o'clock, that is going to be my technical office hours. If you need to get a hold of me about a question you have on an assignment or just anything in general, just to get in touch, between noon and 1, I'll be immediately replying to emails and text messages. And I also have a Google Voice phone number that I can use to call you guys if you'd rather speak on the phone. So we can always do that as well. Lastly, if you've not registered for Remind 101, if you're not getting the text messages from me, which some of you are not, many of you probably are, but not everybody, make sure you follow these instructions here. Okay, so that's a virtual office hours, so I want to show you that. Let's go back to third hour global history up here at the top. Now, you'll see here I put up a link to, oh, and by the way, we're moving away from the website. I am not going to be posting all this stuff on my website anymore. You have to use Schoology. In fact, with Schoology, this is how I'll be checking attendance. I have an analytics tab. You guys don't have this tab over here, but I can see everyone when they last logged into Schoology, when they last accessed the materials for my course. And if I see that you're not logging in, throughout the week, and if you're not accessing the materials, that tells me you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Therefore, you could be eligible for an incomplete in the class as opposed to the credit that we're offering. That's what grades are going to be this year. It's going to be credit or incomplete. So if you're just doing the work, submitting it, you will get the credit for all of your classes. You'll move on to your 10th grade. If I'm not seeing you log in, I will be forced to give you an incomplete, and your options will be summer school if that's open, or it'll be retaking the class as a online course during your school day next year in 10th grade. All right, so that's that. The online textbooks is what I was going to say is here. So when you click on that link, when I do give you textbook assignments, this will open up. It kind of takes a while. Schoology is a little slow sometimes to load things. But if you click up here, once you're on the Global History Online textbook, it'll open up Mr. Piscopink's webpage. He's the one that actually uploaded all of our book sections to it. And I showed you guys this before the school year was over, well, at least got sent home for the school year. But any particular section you need to use in the textbook, like, for example, this week, you'll be doing stuff out of Chapter 30, the Cold War. I didn't assign things out of the book, but if you did, you'd click on that. You'll open up a PDF that is directly of the book itself. Just like you'd see in the classroom, it's actually scanned, and it'll look identical to what you would see in the textbook. So it's not like an online book. It's just a scanned PDF of the actual pages of the textbook. So that's available there if you need that. Go back to Schoology up here. And again, click back to Global History third hour. Now, the most important thing for you guys is each week I'm going to create a folder. This past week, many have looked at it already. We're going to skip that one. We're going to talk about the week coming up here. So when you click on the folder, it's going to open up a tab or open up the folder, and in it you're going to see a bunch of stuff. The weekly assignment overview is where you want to start. And what this is, I type up essentially like I would put on the website. Kind of an overview of what's going to be happening each week, what you should be focusing on doing each day during the week, and kind of what assignments you're going to have. So this week we're going to focus on the Cold War, something that we're going to be learning about right at the end of the school year, or right at the end of the school closure. That was going to be our next topic. But basically the Cold War, I very simplified it here. Basically it was a 45-year period when the U.S. and the Soviet Union brought the world very near to the brink of World War III because of mistrust and other issues they had between the communist eastern states of controlled by the Soviet Union in Europe and other communist countries around the world, and then the Western democracies of Europe and the United States. And the world kind of squared off into two separate teams, nearly bring us to the brink of World War III several times. So some of the major events you're going to learn about this week are the Berlin Wall being built and falling, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Korean and Vietnam Wars, the space race, and nuclear weapons arms race. So you have 3 tasks to complete this week, and I outlined them below. The links to some of them are down here, and I'll show you where you can get the rest. You only have 1 assignment to turn in, and that will be your Cold War summary questions, which we'll go through in a second here. But you will be submitting all your assignments to me here on Schoology. You will not be doing these by text or by email. Okay? So first you're going to review my Cold War PowerPoint. These are the notes we would have taken in class. You don't have to complete the outline, but I recommend going through them to kind of read through them. It'll take you maybe 20 to 30 minutes at the most, which is what you're being assigned is about 30 minutes of work per day according to the school guidelines for this virtual schooling we're doing the rest of the year. You're going to need to watch 2 brief Cold War oversimplified videos. I did post these the other week. I asked you to watch them, but even if you did, I'd like you to rewatch them. They're about 10 minutes each. There's a part 1 and a part 2, and it kind of goes over the basics, and then you'll have the summary reading and the questions. So Monday, I recommend you do PowerPoint. Later on during the day on Monday after our conference. Tuesday, you can watch the videos. Wednesday, read the summary. Thursday and Friday, between those 2 days, you can complete the questions that go with it. So this weekly assignment overview that'll be inside each folder each week that I create is kind of going to go over what you need to do. Now you'll see here, these are all the things I've posted. These would be your notes. Here's a link to the 2 videos. Here's the link to the summary reading. And again, if you open this stuff up, you don't have to print these things out. You're welcome to. You can download them. It takes a few moments for it to load, but the summary reading basically is a typed up document that goes through all the basics of the Cold War. This was something that was created by me and Mr. Jankowski right before the school year ended, or that we got sent home for the school year. So that's that. Again, navigate back up here to the folder. The reading summary questions, I put them in a PDF form here. Again, you don't need to necessarily write directly on these. You can write up your answers or type them up directly into the Schoology assignment, which I'll show you in a moment. But you'll see there are 15 questions. You could also handwrite them and scan them and upload them. You could type them in Microsoft Word. You could type them in Google Docs. You could type them in Office 365 is probably your best bet. And then use that because you guys can all access Office 365 from home, and that's free Microsoft. All right, so down here, this is the last thing. These are the summary questions. So this is the assignment. When you see this little logo here, that means it's an assignment you need to complete. So it's due again April 26th at 11:59. And when you click on it, you'll see, mine's going to look different than yours again, but you'll see that the work here, you'll end up, you can open up the Word document. For those of you who want to type directly into this, if you have Microsoft Word on your computer at home, you can type right into it and add your answers in here. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, I saw there was a typo there, so I'll fix that when I'm done with this video. So you'll end up submitting your assignments here. Nobody submitted. Oh, I do have one submission so far. Sanjane, great job. And you could see she submitted a picture of handwritten answers, which is a great way to do it. Some of you already did email me these. I prefer that you actually put them here. I'm not going to count them as through email. It's too hard to organize and keep track of all of them. So again, yours will look a little bit different, but you'll have a chance. You have it's called a Dropbox where you can upload it, and you will then submit your assignment that way. And I'll be able to kind of take a look at who's all completed that particular assignment for my class. So we'll go back to the main folder here. So that's it. That's how the Schoology page works. I do want to quickly show you the Conferences tab. That's over here on the left-hand side. Again, you don't have all these different ones, but you do have the Conferences tab. And when you open that up, it'll take us to, and you should see a scheduled conference, Third Hour Global History. It's scheduled from 7:30 tomorrow on April 20th to 7:40. I will start the conference. You'll be able to enter it. And once you're done, you will be able to go to your completed tabs. I don't have one for this particular class, but if I go to my other AP World History course here. On yours, you will have, this is a different class, but completed, when I've completed a video, like I did one last week here, students can click play here, and they can watch it. They'll be very brief. It's just going to be a lot of me going through this Schoology page and talking about what's on it. So, and then any questions you guys have for the week. So that is the what I want to go over with you guys. So if you have any questions after this video, make sure you bring them with you to tomorrow morning's conference, whether that's 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th hour times, and we can discuss them at that point. And hope you guys are all staying healthy, staying safe, getting outside as the weather's getting nicer here, some fresh air. Miss you guys, miss the class, I miss teaching, I miss being at school, I miss being away from my house, as many of you guys probably do. So hang in there, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Thanks, guys.